Yeah. So, Theo, you
Welcome.
said that in addition to wearing
Falling apart.
a jumper, a sweater, and coding for 12 hours at a stretch, you also are interested in robotics. So, can you elaborate a bit
Yeah,
more?
sure. So, if you want to, if you have ever do any testing, like UI testing, right? You were testing the code and so on. It's really hard to test mobile phone applications because you have things that they could not actually work well. So you have to consider the battery life, the calibration, the accelerometer, so if you're trying to run a testing suite that tests an application, right? So you're saying that you're creating a scenario that the user clicks this one and afterwards this one. You're not actually interacting with the phone. You're just simulating the experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
I have built this one, which is a robotic arm.
Yeah.
As you can see, it moves. No, you cannot see. So as you can see, it moves freely. It's a. This is called. This is a Delta robot, which is actually it's part of the industrial application. So they're using these robots in order to build cars and stuff.
Yep.
So the phone sits on right here, and we can create scenarios where we can actually tap and test the flow. We can create cool stuff, like I have created a robot that posts photos on Instagram automatically without the hassle and so on.
It removes the bots.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you tried to sell that?
Sorry?
Sorry, how long it takes to set up and test for this like robotic arm?
So we used this one in my previous job, and we actually had this one running like 24/7 because we wrote. Yeah, it was cool. We had all the suites for automation testing on the cloud, but basically the idea was that we wanted like some interaction with the actual robot, and it was cool. It's also cool because I have created a video. So I had downloaded an application. Do you know the piano players?
Application?
Yeah, where you can play piano.
Yeah.
So because this is remotely controlled from a device like a laptop and so on, you can actually run whatever you want. So you can say, hey, let's play something. So you can actually work with AI in order to play something cool, or you can actually draw things because that's actually a hand here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tap and touch anything you want it to.
Yeah, you can swipe, you can do everything that actually works. You can also attach.
But I want to ask you, Theo, why did you build it again? Because if it's just to test swipes and taps, right? Why do you need to keep doing that for long periods? Are you trying to test the integrity of the hardware of the phone?
Yeah, that's the thing. You can actually test this as well. So the simulating interaction produced by a framework, it's not the same as the hand. You cannot actually test everything by code. That's not how people work. So you cannot effectively test the thumb. It's the physical need. We can test the mouse because it's mechanical, right?
Right, but you cannot test like the size. It will tell you like things like size of button, optimize, like size of UI basically.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And timings and stuff like that. Event listener. Yeah.
As well as scenarios where in order to unlock the phone, in order to find out the timings regarding the booting up the application, like how much does it take to load the application? It's that harsh for a new user and so on. Interruptions from external things like phone calls, like push notifications, because you're trying to fill up a form and suddenly a push notification comes up. Doesn't make sense for the user and so on.
So instead of getting a human to do that and document it, you build a robot. Is there a camera above that?
No.
Do you have like a camera looking at
No, but you can do that. But we were actually recording the data and processing the data using a framework. So we can actually find the assertion. So let's say the robot was swiping and launching the application. Afterwards, we can say, hey, the application has launched, move on to the next scenario. So we were using visual feedback.
Visual feedback
From
or
the
more like
screen, yeah.
haptic feedback.
So we were using visual feedback in order to validate the scenarios. And haptic feedback was the robot could say, hey, you can actually, you were touching something right now. That's the haptic feedback.
Okay. All right. Very interesting that you've developed it.
Yes, Theodore, it was very impressive. Actually, it made my day.
Yeah, I'm actually making that kind of job. So, you know,
Very
things
interesting.
like, thank you.
We might have things for you to do outside of JM, maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, I'm trying to create stuff. You know, like I'm trying. We have, when I was working in an agency, we have created visual feedback and sensor inside the store in order to track down. Although in school actually, because we were using web technologies, so that's the cool thing. You don't have to. If you want to prototype something in hardware, you don't have to wait for Samsung, LG, I don't know, Siemens in order to validate something. So this actual robot runs on, like, the electronics are like a small Arduino, which is this one. So it's cool because you can do stuff, amazing stuff actually.